Hello, welcome back to another video tutorial here at GeekatPlay Studios. My name is Gary Miller. I went on a field trip today and took some pictures of some textures that I found would be beneficial to some modeling work that I'm doing. And if you're like me and like to use your digital camera and create your own textures, I want to show you something that you'd probably greatly benefit from in Photoshop. Let me come over here to Bridge because that's where I have my textures. I found these old, I guess they would be railroad ties, and this particular picture right here is a series of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this piece of wood was probably 10 to 12 feet long, and it had lots of great detail. If I wanted to capture the entire object, I'd have to stand back pretty far, and as a result, if I took a picture of it, I would lose a lot of detail because I was so far back. So instead, I walked up close to it, took a picture of, say, about 2, maybe 2.5 feet of it, stepped to the side, took another picture, stepped to the side, took another picture. I didn't have a tripod. I did the best I could. Something that I do know is when you have overlapping textures, which is what this would be, because I would have to bring it back here into Photoshop and piece it all together. When you create, when you want to create a series of images and overlap them, you want to include identical information in each picture. So for the picture I have selected, the next one, I would want to include some features of the object I'm photographing to help make it easy to stitch together. So for example, on this one, I have captured this little knot here in the wood, and then in the next one I have that little knot in the wood, and when it comes down to this rough patch area here, both pictures in sequence contain a good deal of that information. So that's something I want to take into consideration when I want to photograph an object, and I know I don't want to photograph the whole thing, but rather create a series of images out of it. I want to include overlapping information. Now let me choose this one here and bring it into Photoshop. This is the kind of detail that I want to capture and retain. I can zoom in really close, and I can still maintain some crisp detail here. If I had taken a picture of the entire object, I would lose a great deal of that. So in Photoshop, I'm going to show you what the program can do that allows you to stitch all of these together without any technical expertise on the part of the user. Now I'm using Photoshop CS4. I believe this tool was also available in CS3. What I'm going to do is select this one image. I'm going to hold down Shift and select this entire series or sequence of images. I'm going to come up here to Tools, come down here to Photoshop, and choose Photo Merge. And this will bring up a Photo Merge window. Well, depending upon what you want, you may want to choose a auto layout, perspective, cylindrical, spherical, on down. For my experiments with these images, I'm going to choose the interactive layout. It will give me the best results. I'm going to select this image here, hold down Shift, select the other image in this sequence, and I'm going to click OK. And now Photoshop is going to open up each one of these images, and then it's going to align them, and then it's going to do its best to merge them together and then blend them together based on color, etc. Okay, now this is what it's given me. I can choose any one of these images and move them around, adjust them. I'm going to keep it as it is and click OK. Now that's 7 images we've asked Photoshop to analyze and stitch together for us. Now it's blending them together, and let's see how good this tool is. You can see right now there's a great deal of offset and tonal balance, tonal differences in the images. Let's see how good Adobe Photoshop CS4 is going to blend these together for us. Now I'm only focusing on the center beam. I don't care about the one above it that has the brown and black stripes, and I'm not concerned about what's below it either. Okay, let me minimize my tools over here so we got a little bit more real estate. Let's zoom in, start from the far end, and let's look and see what it has done. Okay, you can see how it had to stretch this one so that it fit everything nicely. Now remember, I didn't have a tripod. I had to do all this manually. And well, you can see I didn't do a very good job maintaining my distance and, I don't know, the perspective of the camera. But look what Photoshop did. It took into account the size difference of each of the images, and it kept the important details. It kept together these the grain running here through the wood. Yeah, it's a little bit large up here, but that's okay. For my purposes, I'm going to use the crop tool and crop that out. I just want the center part. So it did a good job here on these two frames. Let's slide on over. Jeez, okay, here's another one. It had to stretch it a little bit here, but look at this. It's absolutely flawless. Okay, on this one, it's stitched together perfectly in the center. It had to stretch it a little bit high up there, but that's looking good. What it had to do over here on this frame, because this thing is two pieces right here, but by golly, it sure does look good. Now, I was able to stitch all those together, and look, I can still zoom in nice and tight and have a lot of detail to this. I would not be able to have that crisp detail if I had stood back and photographed the whole thing, you know, at a distance of, you know, 12-15 feet. So that's using the photo merge filter here in Photoshop. Does a great job not only with creating textures like this, but if you want to take or create a panoramic photograph. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching here at GeekatPlay Studios. My name's Gary Miller. Have a good day.